Welcome back to my small series. Today I'm going to design a character for the element water. So let's start. As you can tell, I already made a sketch and now I'm trying to figure out what clothes I want him to wear. I'm going to talk about my design first and after that I'm telling you about his story. So stay tuned. For him I decided that he has long hair that is made out of water. I actually did struggle with his clothes for a while, but ended up giving him a long coat. I don't really know the purpose of this coat, but maybe it can transform into a tail, like a mermaid. I also gave him fins, since he lives underwater. I wanted to have a flow between blue and green colors on him, which is referenced by certain types of seas, where you can see a green glimmer in them. He also has white stripes in his coat, which resembles a waterfall. By the way, tell me if you would like to see me paint the Fire King next, or a different element. So now, going on with his story. Danny is a pessimistic character. He's grumpy most of the time. If you watched my last video, you already know he's friends with Basil. Normally people from the Water Kingdom live under the water, in oceans or seas. They are able to survive on land with their water ability to keep them wet. Danny, on the other hand, was living on land for most of his childhood. This has something to do with his family. You see, his family is known for being powerful. All of them have the ability to control water, which is recognized as the best power you can have in the Water Kingdom. So in case the Fire Kingdom attacks again, they will be defending the other elements. It's not that common, since there's a wide variety of powers, like being able to swim so fast it looks like you're teleporting, or being able to speak with the sea life. Danny comes from a royal family, which is close to the rulers of the kingdom. But Danny didn't have great powers. He's able to control water, but it's weak. Most of his family could control the whole ocean if they pleased. Yet, he is only able to move a small pond of water. His parents, especially his father, are disappointed in him. They hid him from the others because of his terrible powers. They are ashamed of him and told him that many times. His parents didn't treat him as their son. It seems they only wanted to have a child so it can pass on their incredible powers. So Danny, he was nothing for them. They locked him away and forced him to train 24/7. They thought that he was a late bloomer and needed training in order to activate his full powers. But once he turned 8 years old, his parents gave up on him. They threw him out on land so that no one would know that he's their child. And because of their influence in the kingdom, nobody even noticed that a child was kicked out on land. They wanted him to die up there. Yet, what they didn't know, he was able to breathe without any special kind of powers. This has never happened before. With nowhere to go, he sat on a strand, thinking someone would come back for him. Hours passed and he lost hope. But instead, a kind man from the Nature Kingdom found him. He took Danny in and introduced him to Basil. At first, Danny was quiet. He was depressed. His life was taken away from him, just because of his powers. He was mad at himself, mad for not being enough, for not being the son his parents wanted. He was caught up in his self-doubt and spiraled into sadness. He didn't want to eat or do anything else. The kind man asked him what had happened, but Danny didn't answer. Scared, that they would also throw him out if they knew what a disappointment he was. Basil started talking to Danny. Even though he didn't answer, Basil didn't give up. Basil even gave Danny his name, since, well, he didn't talk to him. He showed Danny anything he knew about plants. He never left Danny alone, kept showing him things, bringing him food, and telling him jokes he picked up from his mom. After a while, Danny started to loosen up. Basil and his family didn't have expectations for him to be powerful. They just generally wanted him to be happy. He started talking to Basil, started having fun, and playing catch with him. He could be a kid for the first time in his life. Basil's dad was relieved that Danny is doing better. He's still concerned where his parents are. You see, the dad asked around everywhere, even traveled into the Water Kingdom to ask if someone missed their child. Nobody did, and he was worried. Once Danny loosened up, the dad asked again what had happened. Danny this time had the courage to tell them what happened to him, and both Basil and his dad were in shock. "You can stay with us," he told Danny. His face lit up. Has he finally found a new family? After a few years, Basil got siblings. They all got along well. Once Basil and Danny moved out, they decided to open a shop together. Since Danny learned a lot about the Nature Kingdom and its healing options, they were a match. Danny is the one who goes in rivers and small lakes to gather special plants for the shop. Which is also the reason why he still wears traditional water element clothes, so he's able to swim fast and get everything he needs. But he only wears the outfit if he has to go into water. They worked together for a while, everything went well, the shop was booming. Yet, for some time now, Basil kept disappearing for hours. At first, Danny thought nothing of it, but every time he asked Basil where he went, he got told that he just went to his dad. Danny called the bluff, and one day followed Basil. You see, Danny is really protective of Basil since he is the only one who understands him. He is his only friend and doesn't want to lose him. That Basil would just lie to him like that really hurt him. Once he followed Basil into the forest, making sure not to be seen by him, he heard the voice of a girl. "Basil, I missed you," she said. Danny's eyes widened. Did he have a girlfriend and didn't tell him? He saw how Basil went around the rock and talked with the girl. Then he peeked around to see who he was talking to. His eyes widened once he saw the fire element. He never saw one in his life. They're the most dangerous element of them all. He instinctively jumped out in front of Basil and activated his water powers. Even though his powers are weak, it's the only thing that can stop a fire element. Maybe now would be his time to redeem himself, to show that he can fight to protect the people that care for him. And that's exactly what you can see in my drawing of him, how he holds the water to protect his friend. That's the end of the story so far. Overall, I'm not that happy with the final outcome. I tried to draw a forest for the background to show that he's in the same place as Basil and Annie. Well, at least there's some nice contrast with the blue in his design and the background. Yet, what I couldn't get to work is the magical water in his hands. Since the water has the same color palette as Danny, it just blends into him. And I don't know how to fix it. By the way, again, the entire drawing is made out of watercolors and gouache. Which you could probably tell in the beginning, I completely forgot that I wanted to draw the background first. I started drawing Benny, his name is Danny, I keep switching them up, I'm sorry. I wanted to draw a character first and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot to draw the background. And then I didn't know what to draw for the background, so I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna draw first, because he's going to attack Annie. I wanted to make the background green first, but then I was like, but he has green elements in his hair and his coat, so I was like, oh Jesus, I need a different color. So I just made it like that. Like you can see in the next few minutes when I'm drawing the magical part of his powers that he's holding in his hands, I have no idea how to draw floating water and make it look different from Danny, because like I already said, it just bleeds into him, the color palette is the same. Because well, water is actually transparent, but I can't draw transparent things, I'm not able to do that, I'm not that great as an artist. So I draw water as blue because well, that's how we see it as, right? And now it just looks weird in the end and I don't know how to fix it, and so I just left it. I think overall I'm the happiest with Annie, like my fire element video, that's the best one. And then comes Basil and then Danny. So for the next video, I want to have some feedback from you guys, you can leave a comment for that. I kind of have the motivation to draw like the Fire King, Annie's dad that I talked about a few times now. Like he's supposed to be really intimidating. And I really want to draw a fire beard, that would be dope. But I also could draw like a different element. I don't know, like air, or what other elements are there? Like earth. Yeah, water, fire, nature, I already have that. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna make up some element, like I don't know, like diamonds or something, I don't know. Stone. Would be funny, wouldn't it? But like if I have a different element, for example like earth element, should I like put this element into this storyline as well? Or make like a separate storyline for them, but still in the same universe? Now you can see now it just looks weird. And I overworked the hair, I never drew floating hair before. It was quite a hassle to draw this. And now I'm just outlining everything. So again, please leave a comment as feedback. I always appreciate it when you leave comments. Since I'm not that big of a channel, I think I have like 18 subscribers, which I'm really thankful for. But I do read every single comment. Sometimes I just don't know how to answer comments because I'm overthinking everything I do, you know. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please, if you're also an artist and know how to make things better, for example this magical water part, then also leave comments for that, I think. Yeah, so I'm nice aesthetically peeling the paint off, not the paint, Jesus, the tape. You can tell for this part I don't have a script right now. But that's pretty much it, bye. Even with these flaws, I hope you still liked the video. And that's pretty much it. It would be nice if you could leave a like, since these videos take some time to make.